Something feels off and you can't explain it. You're doing everything you're supposed to do, working, talking, showing up, but inside there's a quiet tension you can't shake. It's like your energy is leaking somewhere you can't see. You feel drained around certain people, stuck in patterns you thought you outgrew, and no matter how much you try to fix your life on the outside, something deeper stays unchanged. Here's the truth most people never hear. Your life doesn't move based on what you do. It moves based on the energy you carry. And once you understand how that energy actually works, everything starts to shift, but not in the way you expect. You've been taught to focus on actions, wake up earlier, work harder, think positive, but no one told you that your internal state is quietly controlling the outcome of all of it. You can say the right words, make the right moves, even follow the perfect routine and still feel stuck. Why? Because your energy speaks louder than your effort. People don't respond to what you say as much as they respond to what you radiate. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most of your energy isn't even consciously chosen. It's inherited, conditioned, and repeated without you noticing. But once you see where it's coming from, you'll realize why things haven't been changing, and what's been silently holding you back this entire time. Think about the last time you walked into a room and instantly felt something was off. No one said anything, nothing obvious happened, but you felt it. That invisible signal, that's energy. It's not mystical, it's psychological, emotional, and behavioral patterns broadcasting all at once. Your tone, your body language, your micro-reactions, your attention, all of it creates a field people pick up on instantly. And here's the twist. The same thing is happening with you all the time. You are constantly sending signals without realizing it. Signals that attract, repel, create tension, or open doors. And if you don't become aware of those signals, you end up creating results you never consciously chose, which explains more than you might be ready to admit. Now here's where most people go wrong. They try to force good energy. They fake confidence, suppress emotions, and repeat surface-level affirmations, hoping it will override what they feel inside. But energy doesn't respond to pretending. It responds to alignment. If there's conflict inside you, fear mixed with desire, doubt mixed with ambition, it creates a distorted signal. That's why you can want success but still sabotage opportunities. That's why you can crave connection but push people away without realizing it. And once you recognize this pattern, you start to see something even more surprising. The problem was never outside of you. There's a hidden layer most people never access. Awareness of where their energy is actually being drained. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it's not the big problems. It's the small repeated leaks. Overthinking conversations that already ended. Holding on to situations you can't control, constantly checking for validation. These tiny habits slowly drain your mental and emotional bandwidth until you feel exhausted without knowing why. And the more drained you feel, the more reactive you become. And that reaction creates even more energy loss. It's a cycle that feeds itself. But once you spot the pattern, you'll start noticing something that changes everything. Your attention is your most valuable resource, and where you place it determines the quality of your energy. Most people scatter their attention across distractions, negativity, and comparison without realizing the cost. Every time you focus on something that lowers your state, you're reinforcing it. Every time you replay a negative scenario in your mind, you're strengthening that emotional pattern. And over time, that pattern becomes your default state. This is why some people feel stuck, even when their circumstances improve. They change their environment, but their energy stayed the same. And until that internal pattern shifts, the external results will keep circling back in ways that feel frustratingly familiar. Here's the part that changes how you see everything. Your energy doesn't just affect you. It influences how others behave around you. People respond to your presence before they process your words. If your energy is tense, uncertain, or guarded, it creates resistance. If your energy is calm, focused, and grounded, it creates openness. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. Because the moment you become aware of your state, you gain the ability to shift it. And that shift doesn't just change how you feel. It changes how life responds to you in ways that seem almost unreal when you first experience it. But here's where it gets deeper. Changing your energy isn't about chasing a constant high state. It's about stability. It's about being able to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. It's about recognizing emotional patterns as they arise instead of being pulled into them automatically. Most people live on autopilot, reacting to everything without realizing they have a choice, and that lack of awareness keeps them trapped in cycles they don't even like. But the moment you interrupt that pattern, even slightly, you create space, and in that space something powerful begins to happen. You start responding instead of reacting. You start choosing where your attention goes. You start noticing when your energy shifts and why. And this awareness creates control, not forced control, but natural control. The kind that comes from understanding, not resistance. And as you build this awareness, your entire experience begins to change. Situations that used to trigger you lose their intensity. People who used to drain you lose their grip. You begin to feel lighter, clearer, more focused. And yet, there's one final piece most people never fully grasp. Your environment is constantly shaping your energy, whether you realize it or not. The content you consume, the conversations you engage in, the people you spend time with, all of it feeds into your internal state. If you surround yourself with chaos, your energy reflects chaos. If you surround yourself with clarity, your energy aligns with clarity. This is why small changes in your environment can create massive shifts over time. But here's the catch. Most people underestimate how powerful these small influences really are, and they keep exposing themselves to things that quietly pull them backward. And then one day something clicks. You realize that energy isn't something you wait for. It's something you manage. You stop blaming circumstances and start observing patterns. You stop chasing motivation and start building awareness. And as you do this, your decisions change. Your habits change. Your interactions change. Not because you forced them, but because your internal state naturally shifted. And when that shift becomes consistent, your life starts moving in a direction that finally feels aligned. The breakthrough isn't dramatic, it's subtle, but undeniable. You feel more in control without trying to control everything. You feel more focused without forcing focus. You feel more at peace without needing everything to be perfect. And that's when you understand the real truth about spiritual energy. It was never something outside of you. It was always the way you process, respond, and direct your internal world. So here's your next step. Start paying attention, not to everything, but to what's happening inside you. Notice where your energy drops. Notice what triggers certain patterns. Notice where your attention goes when you're not thinking about it. Because the more aware you become, the more power you gain to shift it. And once you start making those shifts, even in small ways, you'll begin to see changes that feel almost surprising. Because the moment you take control of your energy, you stop reacting to life and you start shaping it.